Hello, All Tower fans, and welcome to another All Tower podcast episode. Here at All Tower, we have something new for you and are very eager to share. You head on over to www.cafepress.com/alltowermedia. You can find some new goodies to scoop up for yourself. First, we have some All Tower Media branded apparel and merch, as well as some nerdy stuff for you to check out. The first of our line features a pair of nice, large, firm D20 dice that says, "Show your crits." Grab a t-shirt, hoodie, or sweatpants today, or sweatshirt, and show your love for your favorite podcasting crew. More clever shirts coming soon. Heading over to the calendar on the 28th, Spoilercast will be recording their creature feature. Welcome to Everything Here Wants to Eat You Park, with guest hosts from Flick Freaks. Be sure to check out their YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch channels. On that same day, Agents of Sur will be recording their third episode, which will now include character profiles, so be sure to watch for that. We wish to thank Spellbook Games for the use of their awesome studio where we record Spoilercast. Be sure to check out their Spellcast this Thursday for a sneak peek of live gameplay of their new game, Dire. It should be epic. Also, a big shout out to D.A. Roberts, which I do all the time for every episode. You know, we plug his Ragnarok Rising series, which you need to go check out on Amazon. His zombie apocalypse novel, or it's now a set of novels, based in Springfield, Missouri. You're going to have to check that out, but be sure to watch for his first book in the Infinite Black Universe, which is a game created by Spellbook to drop soon. We'll have more details as they come. Now perk up your ear holes, nerds, for another All Tower podcast recorded by Skynet.
Hey, this is Roper with All Tower Media over here at Spoilercast. We're again broadcasting at Spellbook Studios. Dower Monkey, how are we?
Peachy, how are you?
I'm excellent. I'm glad we can get back over here and you guys use your guys' studios again. Been up to anything exciting over here?
Working a lot. I think the most exciting news is this coming Thursday during our Spellcast live stream. We will be showing off the first in-game footage of Dire.
That's Thursday?
This Thursday around 2 o'clock.
You're going to post that time. You're going to post that up on Facebook so we can all share it?
It'll be Facebook, forums, Twitters, emails.
Excellent.
It'll be everywhere. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, before we get started on things, I want to make a special announcement. A friend of mine, her name is Jackie. She actually just published a book. She's had it out before, but I think that she's finally committed with this at this point in time. It's the Blood Rose for the Blood Saga Book 1 trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. I don't think she's really specified, but I do know that it is.
Is it a political thriller?
It is a saga. It's vampires, and it's not glittery, hooey, whatever bullshit vampires. I think she borders more along the lines of dark, rip your throat out and eat you because we're fucking monsters.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that too.
Congratulations, Jackie.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We're going to try to actually get her on the show with
That'd
us.
be cool.
I've already spoke with her. She's down for it. And I'll let her be the one to tell us what it's all about. Maybe we'll do a vampires episode that time. I think that's been in the works for a little bit, but
I have some things
we
to
have
say about
we have
that.
things there.
they sparkle and smell like cookies.
Wrong. I'm going to throw an ink pin at you if you say it again.
They sparkle and smell like cookies?
That's it. There.
It's true.
I even got him in the mic. I got him right.
Now you have no pen.
Bullshit, I got a pen right here. Got a whole jar of pens sitting right in front of me. Okay, so the thing is tonight we're on the end of the world. It's the end of the world as we know it.
I feel fine.
And I feel fine. Do you feel fine?
No, actually, my stomach kind of hurts a little.
Do you need a friend at the end of the world?
Probably, but
Wow, look what we did just then.
We haven't introduced everybody yet.
We haven't, so we're getting to that now. Now that we've introduced the show.
You wanted to know how you felt, Jared.
Yeah,
Come
I was
on.
asking a question. So now that
I appreciate it.
All right, recap, because we need to. We've introduced the show, Spoilercast.
Check.
All Tower Media. We've introduced the host of the show, which is the people that are allowed to make this happen, which is Spellbook.
Check.
We've introduced the topic of the show, which is the end of the world, dystopian. Isn't that what we're calling this?
Check.
I do not
Stop.
like.
Stop. No. Stop. Now it's time to introduce our peoples. The person you hear over there saying, I don't like, and
I don't like your face, Roper.
that stuff right there. That's Jareth. Say hi, Jareth. Nothing.
I'm going to say hi because I want to, not because he told me to.
Right here next to me for the first time ever, because we've moved him over in a chair, is Mike. Mike?
Mediocre.
Exactly. Without a mustache either, and that's disappointing.
Mikey Oak?
Mediocre, you might say.
Very mediocre. And then the new addition to the show tonight, which hasn't been on before, is Dan. Which
Or Damn.
Damn the man.
Either one works.
Either one works. We've had you post stuff to us before. We've actually come in and done show topics on things that you've commented with.
Well, yeah.
Hear that, Internet? We
Yeah,
love our fans.
I like to post and suggest sometimes ridiculous things.
Hey, it works. Some of the stuff we've ran with. Like I said, we did the book topic. We did that one, which Mike, you got to miss out on.
Yep.
Which still sucks, doesn't it?
Did the debriefing.
Did the debriefing. That was all right. Which we've backed off the debriefs, but that's still a thing. But we did drop the ball on something a long time ago, and that was Dungeon Cast. We started to do it. That misfired. We're still working on it, and Mike is taking the reins on it. And Mike, you're actually going to be putting that together and organizing it. We're going to get some specific dates locked down, and we'll be able to talk about it at a later point in time. Correct?
Yeah. I can't. I have no idea what I could say about it at the moment.
Now that it's
Other than
on
the-
the Internet, you have to do it.
Well,
Yeah, pretty
we're-
much.
Well, that's you say that, but we said it the first time around, and we were like, "It's coming. It's this next week, and it was going to happen," and then it just kind of went away.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad about it. And fortunately, you, like a phoenix, rose from the ashes of that, and you put this back together again.
No, it's kind of like I was like under the phoenix and it died and it like fell on me and there's ashes and I finally went like, yeah, let's try this again, guys.
Let's do it. Let's do it because it's going to be good, and the shows are going to be excellent. And we need to work out specific times and dates and things of that nature. So we're still hammering out all the details on it. So that is upcoming.
Yep.
Back to tonight. So Mad Max. Anybody in here see Mad Max?
Was that the one?
Fury Road.
Is that the one with
that's that really awful one that just came out.
the dog and the family and the...
It's animated, right?
No, no. There was something about boobs in it though.
It's a movie completely based on the sex life of furries. Mad Max
Yeah. Okay.
Furry Road.
Furry Road. Exactly. Okay.
Well,
So tonight we're doing, like I said, we're doing the end of the world shows, and the most recent to mention is Mad Max Fury Road, and I liked it. It was really good. And you brought up something following the movie that I found very interesting, and that was the world development point of view that you had.
yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah. So throughout the movie, you just kept like coming to points in the movie where you had to stop and be like, what the hell is that? like, and what the hell is that on their cars? And like... And you thought that, and then you also thought that because you knew that there was an answer to it. Whoever wrote the movie actually built the world around it really well.
like
Those-
Pole Bird Man.
the weird
Yeah, the things
dudes,
out in the mire.
the peg leg people in
Yeah.
the swamps. It's just how they get through the swamps. There's like a whole civilization of people out there. I'm sure of it. And
I probably wouldn't call it a civilization. The film largely did not deal with civilization.
not in the strictest
uncivilized.
sense, but yeah,
Well, I mean, okay, so they had Bullet Farm,
Bullet Farm,
Gastown,
Gastown,
and the Citadel.
yeah.
And those
Easily the coolest name.
right,
By
and
far.
those three right there are the inner workings of
It was,
of a society. Those are towns with kind of a hierarchy
Interacting
of things.
city states, basically.
Right.
That was the interesting thing Jareth said about it was that the world had an economy very
Yes,
clearly established.
Very. But this is well after the fall of man, right? And so you go way back where you had the original Mad Max,
Yeah, and ostensibly this is like supposed to take place after those movies.
right? So you had Mad Max, which depending on where you're looking dictates whether or not it's Mad Max or Road Warrior, and then you have Mad Max.
We
and then you
know
have
what
Mad
they
Max
are.
2 and
The
all
first,
that.
second, and third movie, whatever.
Correct. So you have either Road Warrior or Mad Max, depending on again where you're looking, or Mad Max or Mad Max 2, and then you have Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah.
So wait, was this supposed to take place after Beyond Thunderdome?
Chronologically, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he
I
says
didn't know that.
he says that he's a cop, or he was a cop.
I thought it was like a reboot though, so I
No.
thought it was.
That's
So,
why you
okay.
were getting flashes. That's why whenever he was running through the tunnel before he jumps out and hooks his chain on that conveyor hook,
Oh, right.
when they're going in, all those ghosts or whatever that kept like coming at him, those are people from the previous movies.
That makes the entire pace of the movie make a lot more sense because I was talking with Mike was saying, like, where do you even go? Like, if this was a reboot of the first one, it seemed like the last in an installment was so, it had such a strong conclusion. It was so action-packed.
That's why he kept saying that I'm the one that runs from both the living and the dead. All the dead that he's referring to is all the people that he wasn't able to save in all the previous movies and stuff, such as his family.
Right, he
and
has
things
the
of that nature.
flashes of the little girl.
Right, and surprisingly, and I don't know
There's
if there
no little girl in any of the 3 movies that he's. I mean, not that I can think of that he's.
Well, we could assume that
That's his
bad things happen to like all of the children from Beyond Thunderdome.
Okay, fair
could,
enough.
You could make that jump, but
Well, actually, no, because at the end of Beyond Thunderdome, they're narrating and they're like, "Yeah, it's pretty great now. I mean, it's not awesome, but we're alive." So,
nevertheless, he didn't hang around to find out how things played out.
He never does.
He never does. I mean, hell, he even leaves at the end of Fury Road.
and the time
So let's get
beyond
into
remembrance.
some specifics.
Yeah.
So Furiosa is
badass.
a badass with one arm.
Yep.
Robot arm, by the way.
I don't know how that's supposed to work. Somehow she's able to control that. It looked like it's just a leather holster that just kind of holds her arm on there.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah,
about
but she was able to use it. And I don't think we should try and get too deep into that, or it'll fall
Yeah,
apart.
I was about to say they kind of just glance. Okay, it works, and it works.
Yeah.
and they just kind of keep moving.
It seemed like pretty high tech. I've literally not thought of that until this moment. That seemed like pretty high technology.
Yeah.
It's possible that the world ended later than we thought.
Maybe. So, yeah, that is curious.
Someone should have asked her, "Hey, where the fuck did you get that?"
Yeah, how
'Cause
does that work?
I know a guy with no legs.
She got it from prosthetics.
Yeah, Stumpy at the end of the movie that comes crawling out of that
He could have
hole,
really
he could have
used-
used legs like that.
Yeah. Is there a business card or something like that?
Which one was Stumpy?
You remember I even leaned over to you and I'm like, that's Stumpy.
When you see Stumpy, you'll know it's him.
Yeah, because what happens is they're driving back because they left the war wagons or whatever in the wreckage back there, where the one dude that had changed sides with them wrecked out and everybody crashed into it and kills them all. Well, then they come rolling back in and they're like, as they're pulling in before they get into the Citadel, this dude like crawls out of a hole and he doesn't have any legs. He's literally just cut off right here beneath the pelvic
He seems
bone.
to have a good attitude.
Yeah,
about
and
that.
he's just like scurrying across the ground, just like.
Like, instead of the cat on the hang in there posters, it should be him.
it should be him.
Don't get bummed out if you don't have arms
It's
and
like,
legs.
listen, I don't want to hear you bitching. It is hot as hell out here, and the sand burns the shit out of my stumps. Here I am, just scooting right along, and fucking Furiosa's one along with a mechanical arm.
On a serious note, it might be because he's not healthy enough or worthwhile enough to.
He's also
get
a
two
midget,
prosthetics.
so he's probably not even in that time, especially. He's probably looked down upon.
Probably. So,
Wow.
what? So Furiosa, she loads up. She's supposed to be making a fuel run, right?
Yes,
because
yeah.
she's going to gas
On the
town.
gas tank.
Guzzling.
Going for guzzling. So she's loading up to go to that, and then like halfway there, she just goes peeling off road.
I would say it's
and
more
no
like
one knows why.
45% of the way there.
But nobody knows why, right? Except her, and everybody's like, "Hey, what the hell?"
I like how the guy just casually
he
climb
just-
around on the trail. He's like, "Hey, what's up, boss?" He's like, "Oh, we're going here." And he's like, "All right, see you later."
We're going east, and he's like, "We're going east. I'll pass it back."
I like that until the war team showed up, he was just like,
Yeah,
she's
and then,
the boss.
And then
Yeah.
he's like, "Are these backup?" Like he still doesn't get it
Yeah,
until the
and-
last second. And then he's like, "Wait a second,
Son of a bitch! And of course,
I
they
should have never just casually listened to you."
Yeah, that part seemed a little.
Well, okay. What helps is that it's a very religious society.
Yeah,
So-
which we discussed that as well.
So the war boys are religious fanatics, basically.
Yes.
Great name, War
If you're,
Boys.
if you're an imperator, they're
And-
pretty
and
much
the-
going to do what you
and
say.
the children of the war pups. I thought that was kind of. I thought that was kind of clever too. But we discussed that if you have a society like that based off of the immortal Joe, that's like, you do this for me and you're going to ride with me for eternity. And
Really lame
in
way to-
Valhalla.
Shiny and chrome.
Shiny and chrome. All shiny and chrome.
mediocre.
Shut your dirty mouth. So the thing is that the implementation of basically Norse mythology, which it's not really Norse mythology. They aren't going off of like Odin and things of that nature, but
Right.
it's
like
the
the same
concept
template.
of, yeah, it's the same concept of this you're going to be this wonderful warrior that'll be sang about forever, and you're never going to die, and it's going to be amazing.
It's a religion that celebrates you as a warrior, and like the cooler you die, the better.
Exactly.
So that's if you're a warlord, that's what you want your
Exactly.
religion to
The worst,
be.
unlike in today's society, the worst death you can have there is to die peacefully in your sleep.
Yes, that's
Like,
yeah.
fuck that guy. He just died in his sleep.
That sucks. Well, then that was the motivator for the whole thing, because he's sitting there in the, getting blood from Mad Max. Yeah, Max all strung up above him as his blood bag, right? And
They just strapped him on the front of a car.
yeah, they're like, he's like, just load him to the front of a car and
You
let's
think
go.
he's going to be a little more hospitable to the guy giving you blood, but they're like, oh, let's put him out front. He'll be
yeah,
fine.
just stick him up there.
Keep the adrenaline going.
That
was the
might be
point.
part of it.
But and we discussed this as well briefly. When they went into the storm, and everybody's getting sucked off the back of motorcycles,
Which
and everybody's
looked really cool, by the way.
it did. Everybody's getting sucked off the back of motorcycles and pulling off the back of cars, and cars are spinning up and exploding in the air and things of that nature. And then the guy you're following, the war boy you're following, that has Max on his car.
About a boy. No, no one gets that reference.
What?
Say it
About
again.
a boy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Go on.
Still don't get it. What's
You
going
said
on?
it like all as one word.
He
so
did.
I
He
thought
said,
you were saying
"Bada
an
boy boy."
African thing. About a boy.
So he's in the car, and he's ripped his fuel lines, and he's loading down his car with fuel, and he's gonna blow up because he's got a flare, and Max jumps in and grabs him, and then
And he's also super stoked about dying.
yeah,
That should be pointed out.
He
paints his teeth.
He spray paints his mouth with some silver, and by God, he's ready to go. Right. Well, Max causes him to crash, and the car does some gnarly flips, as all the cars in the movie
Which
do.
I thought would be the end of that guy. I thought he was going to die in that.
Right. But that's
Surprisingly doesn't explode like every other vehicle.
yes, and so that's the point that I brought up, though, is the fact that Max is on the outside of this car, getting just kind of tossed all over the place,
Yeah.
right? And yet somehow he walks away from it
In a humongous storm.
totally
too.
unscathed. In a storm that is, as I mentioned a moment ago, pulling people and vehicles up into the storm itself. It wrecks out and sits there, and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Everybody's fine.
Well, it's like I told you before. He's an action hero, so his only superpower is not being good at what he does. It's at being super lucky at everything.
But then we explored that, and there's the scene at the very end, right past the mire, where the guys are on that tank tread thing, and they're shooting guns all over the place, and he's like, "I'll be right back."
He's also
and he
good.
leaves, right? And they don't follow him. They stay with the people that are actually with the truck.
That was
And
a
there's
great way to shoot that, too.
There's this discussion between them, and Max goes over there, and then
Boom.
Jess comes back with all their guns and stuff, and there's an explosion.
You don't know.
And
He might have just walked over there, tripped, gasoline, fire. They all die, and he goes,
maybe
Okay.
he went
Picks
over
yourself
there and
up,
asked
walk back.
really nicely.
Then how did he get covered in all their blood?
Yeah.
and the arm
Great line,
flails in his
too,
face.
when someone, I forget who it is, they ask about, is he okay? And the girl's like, yeah, that's not his blood.
it. Yeah, just
He's totally fine.
He's fine.
Not mentally, probably.
and then he
but-
just drops the bag. He just drops the bag with all the guns and ammunition, but they never ever go over there and see what he did. They never ever show.
No.
What, did he ambush him? Did he? I mean, what happened? You don't know.
He
What
fucking
you do know-
Mad Maxed him. That's
I
what
like
he
to
did.
think that he just went over there and asked nicely, and they all exploded.
They killed themselves.
Like they couldn't handle it. It was too civilized.
I like to think that he pulled down his pants and they shot themselves.
Probably, yeah. So but that's what that right there suggests. That suggests how
Badassery.
badass he is.
Yeah.
Right. That made that suggestion.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else leading up to it was just kind of this fumbling through happenstance.
The
Just
true proof is when someone can be silent and deadly like that. That
Right,
really
where there's
proves their
like
manhood.
a fart.
just like a
That's
fart.
That's a good point. Time to bring up. I've talked to Jareth and Mike both about this. Is he may have said like maybe 45 words, which I think was great.
Well, that's consistent with the other movies in Beyond Thunderdome and Mad Max.
Yeah, but
I
Hollywood
believe.
likes to mess things up now.
Right,
so.
but I was doing some reading on it. He had 16 total lines. Mad Max's character had 16 total lines
Oh,
in
wow.
both those movies, and one common line between both movies was "I'm just here for fuel,"
yeah,
or something to that effect. It was basically saying "I'm just here for the gasoline,"
Yeah,
basically,
just
and then
nuts
he was
and
getting out
bolts.
of there.
Yeah.
And so there's 15 lines independently between those two movies, and that's all he said. which is totally on point with this movie, where he went through and was a lot of grunting and just kind of like, you know. And
I'm probably overestimating his lines. It was probably closer to 15 than 45.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that he wasn't like having these long monologues where he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm going to save you guys."
Well, he did have some monologues, but they were all internal. They were soliloquies.
Yes.
Yeah,
At the beginning, that is different. That doesn't count as
really
dialogue.
cool, like really
No, it's
like
monologue.
Right. That's that
like
doesn't-
badass poetry. It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. But
The poetry of action heroes.
Poetry to blow up to.
Yeah, actually, yes. The poetry of action heroes is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
so I'm gonna
It's awesome.
I'm gonna shift gears away from Mad Max for a brief moment. Jareth, what's your favorite end of the world movie?
Why?
Yeah, I'm starting with you, and I am totally catching you off guard with this question.
Unfortunately, Jared's never seen any other movies but Mad Max, so that was a bad question.
Yeah, that's not true.
So is
you've
it-
seen Terminator? Terminator qualifies as an end of the world movie
So is
because
this-
it is.
Post-apocalypse, right?
Yeah, it is
Right.
post-apocalyptic
Okay, so
world.
dystopia, yeah.
I don't like the use of the word dystopian to
Why?
describe
I
the
agree.
post-apocalypse like that.
Well, I guess it could be
For Mad Max, it fits, I believe.
Well,
Well-
here's the thing. So it's just the opposite of utopia. So it's
the worst possible
Right.
society.
Right.
yeah.
But the association of utopia is that it is a society that is good. So
Okay.
I prefer dystopia to be used.
But it
in-
works for Mad Max Fury Road.
Does it?
Yeah, because we've established that they have something of a society going on.
But
I think classically the way dystopia is used, it doesn't really fit Mad Max. It's only when you're speaking in broad terms that you can use dystopia that way.
like,
And
I
also,
like,
anytime there's a utopia, it tends to be like a false utopia.
well, that's when it's a dystopia.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, dystopian is used a lot to like describe most cyberpunk settings.
Perhaps
where
we just
things
stick
are
to
great,
the post-apocalyptic term.
but you know,
You're
there's some-
nitpicking on language here. I asked you a question.
Yeah, I know, and I was not ready. I didn't know we were. I thought we were just talking about Mad Max.
Tune in next week for the rest of the podcast.
It's Mad Max, right?
I'm not ready for this. I just die.
We could come back to you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Come on.
What about you, Roper?
Me?
Yeah, what's your favorite end of the world movie?
Well, I have two.
Oh, how about that?
I have
He's
two.
prepared, Jareth.
I'm always prepared for this stuff. Normally, he reads over my shoulder when I bring my computer.
No, you always sit way over there ever since the first one.
Except for that one time when you were reading over my shoulder, and then I moved down here.
Eat a big old dick.
Yeah. Well, one of them I just recently watched over again. I'd watched it a long, long time ago, and I really enjoyed it a long time ago. But I watched it again, and it's the movie 9.
Oh,
It's
The animated or the
the animated.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause there's
it's-
a Daniel Day-Lewis that I didn't think you were talking about.
no.
Wait, so it is the one with the puppets?
Yes.
yeah.
I always wanted to see it, but I never got a chance.
Really, you've never seen that?
I haven't seen it
never
either.
seen it.
It's
would love
actually
it.
it is
I know
actually
I
really
would.
good. I liked it quite a bit.
I was like completely all in on wanting to see it as soon as I saw the trailer that had Coheed and Cambria in it.
It's Rise of the Machine into the world.
Yeah.
The scientist who helped develop the technology that basically builds war machines for peace, which ultimately ends up killing everyone.
Always works out.
Yeah, it worked out so well because it wasn't like that to begin with. He developed the machine, and basically it's this independent AI, which they don't really get into a whole lot of this. They don't really discuss this, but you can look at it and understand what it is.
Right.
And they build this AI that this is what its purpose is. They show snippets of the history from this world, and that's what happened. There's a scientist. They built this thing. He's with it at this press release deal. They're talking about it, and the next thing you know, this military organization's like scooping up the scientist and taking him away, and they take the robot and they put him, they put it to work, and the next thing you know, it's building death machines, and so you kind of get the underlying tone there. He built a good machine that had a lot of potential. The military manipulated it and turned it into a death machine and started pumping out all these things that ultimately end up resulting in all of humanity dying.
Shocker, the death machine produced death.
Right. Weird, right?
You get what
Well,
you
the
pay
scientist in this used part of, he managed to get his hand on part of the device, and he was able to, it's kind of like alchemy, and he's able to take parts of his soul, and he fractured himself off into these little robotic dolls.
Yeah.
And there are 9 of them, and the
Makes
last
me think of like the Horcrux or whatever it is from Harry Potter.
right. But this thing, the last one ends up waking up like right there at the very beginning of the movie. That's what starts the whole thing. Is 9 wakes up.
Yep.
And it can't talk to begin with.
Frodo, right? It's Frodo. I think it's Frodo.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
Frodo.
It's literally Frodo, the Hobbit.
Son of a bitch. So he ends up meeting up with 2, and 2 is the first one that gets captured by this robot thing.
Is it the robot cat?
Yes, the robot cat. And it captures him, and it takes it off to its lair. And long and short of everything, they go to rescue him, and they end up rescuing him, and they kill the cat thing, right? And then dumbass 9, which is Elijah Wood, he takes the little piece thing. Stop it. He takes the little piece thing and actually puts it into the machine and wakes up the super death machine that starts using all of the stuff around to build new robots.
For those who haven't seen this, how big are these machines, just to get an idea?
Well, the cat thing. So if the little doll pieces, because they're sitting next to.
Remember, this is an audio podcast.
I understand that, and I'm going to explain. I'm just sizing up for you guys. So at the beginning of the movie, 9 falls from where he was suspended, and he lands on the ground and walks forward. And actually, the body of the scientist is laying right there. And compared to his head, if 9 were to lay down on its side, it's about the width of or about the length of a human head. So they're only about 5 inches, 6 inches, roughly tall.
I guess.
Roughly,
yeah.
6 inches.
Not that way. This way. Not from nose to back of head, from chin to top of head, roughly.
So they're roughly penis length.
Depending.
This isn't that show.
Depending on whose we're talking about here.
Well, not mine.
Hey-o.
All right, let's whip them out. Come on, guys.
So they're roughly the size of moderately large action figures.
Right. Okay. So that's the size of the main characters, 9 or 1 through 9, and then the
that
cat
makes them sound not intimidating, but
they're really small. They're using like they're I take that back. One of them, I think it's 6. He's like twice the size of all of them.
Okay.
And he uses like a kitchen knife as a giant sword.
Awesome.
It's kind of like it's about like the Buster Blade from
And these are they building death machines, or they are death machines?
These little guys,
Yeah.
They're actually the embodiment of the scientist who they're all peaceful, basically explorers trying to survive.
Oh, so they're the good guys.
They're the good guys.
I got you.
Yeah, our good guys are robots, which is not often.
They're the only things that are out there that can survive the deadly gas that the other death machine put out, and that's what's killed off all the people.
Sounds pretty interesting.
But the cat creature, by comparison, it would be basically the size of a very, very, very large bear.
Oh,
that
was unexpected.
Yeah, by comparison. Okay, so if we were the 6-inch little critters, right? It would be. So I'd say it would be about actually if we were there.
Yeah.
The robot cat thing would be about the size of a medium-sized dog. Does that make sense? But because they're 6 inches tall, it looks
I see.
fucking
I
huge.
got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, then the next robot that's made is this flying chicken-looking thing that's got like scissors for a beak. That there's like 5 or 6 scissor pieces that are trying to eat, and it's got a human rib cage as its inner hull, and
sounds pretty cool.
It's actually pretty cool. One of the robots that is created is it's like a snake, but it has this like tentacle that goes out, and they use the corpse of number 2. They put it on the end of this tube piece, and so like this snake thing shows up, and it sends this little probe out that has the number 2 on the end of it. And all of the other ones are looking at it going, what the hell is that? And then they're confused by it. And all of a sudden it looks up and its eyes start shuddering, which puts them into like this trance, and they just stand there. And this giant snake thing slithers forward and then like uses these claw looking things to like pull it into itself. And then it stitches itself shut. So it's like one part spider cocooning them, and then the other half of it is all just snake.
Spider snake.
but then
What's your favorite thing?
But it's also like an anglerfish with that fucking
Yeah,
light thing that hangs over the top to lure the fish before it's like and eats them. That's what it's like. All kinds of fucked up, but its head is a baby doll.
Yeah.
So it's just it looks
Creepy as
it looks
shit.
super.
That's gotta
horrible.
be like I struggle to think of a visually as interesting like post-apocalyptic movie as 9.
It's
Like,
excellent. It really is good.
I don't think anyone expected someone to say an animated movie.
No,
It's
pretty much goes off the beaten path. God damn it! If anyone says Wall-E,
No,
don't say
No.
Wall-E, Jareth.
Jareth.
I wasn't gonna say Wally.
Good.
He is now.
I'm still not gonna say Wally.
What's damn? What's pick number 2?
Pick number 2 for me is the Terminator movies, but I do have to have an honorable mention of A Boy and His Dog, which we talked about
Super
briefly.
weird, yeah.
Super duper weird.
I don't feel
Super
like
duper
I don't
weird.
feel like Terminator is post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it is.
It's not post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, the parts that you're watching aren't, but everything that happens after the fact, because even in, what was it, the 4th movie?
Salvation's post-apocalyptic.
That one is post-apocalyptic.
It's
That
also
is,
not very good.
Yeah.
it's not that bad either. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, but it's also not very good.
True. But the one before that, they keep going on about,
T3 with the female Terminator.
Yes. They actually have the line in that movie where they're like, we weren't ever listening. He kept saying Judgment Day is coming. We can't stop Judgment Day.
Yeah.
They were just ignoring it. They kept saying we've got to stop Judgment Day, and he kept saying it's happening. And no matter what you did, it's going to happen. And the only way it wasn't going to happen is if you somehow did something and then the guy that's helping you just kind of disappears into nothing. Because if you stopped it, he wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that he continues to be here suggests that it's still occurring.
Well,
Right.
If that's the case, then John Connor would immediately disappear the second they fixed anything.
That's also true as well, because I actually
They're not working on the same rules for paradoxes and time as.
Can I just say right now, I just
As we
realized John Connor, JC, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Really? You just now
I just
Mind blown.
My mind wasn't blown because I'm pretty sure I'm the last person to think of that. I was like, JC, yeah.
So
I never thought of that.
yeah.
Perhaps
so-
we should just say, what's your favorite movie that deals in some way with the apocalypse?
Yeah, with the end of the world, that makes sense.
But here's the thing with both of my selections, it's Rise of the Machines that have taken us out.
Very interesting. That is telling of you, Roper.
It is.
What is your fear? Is it the machines rising?
It is.
Are you afraid your toaster's going to kill you?
No, I shot my toaster.
Right.
Why do you carry a gun in the house? Because of the
The
Decepticons.
Decepticons.
He
Shot-
refuses to watch The Brave Little Toaster.
That is a fucked up movie, sir.
It is. It's
It
dark.
really,
That is,
really is.
I surprising how
I
horrible
was like
that
5
movie is.
watching that and being like, I'm not going to be the same.
I should
yeah.
not be watching this.
Yeah.
So I think I know what my pick for favorite
Go
end
for
of the
it.
world movie is.
Let's hear it.
Also has Charlize Theron in it.
Go for it.
The Road. It's the most depressing movie you're ever going to watch.
I liked it. I watched it with my wife. She hated that
Yeah,
movie.
it's super fucking depressing.
But it's really good.
It's an excellent goddamn. It's so slow.
Yes.
It's
For
like
anyone
a really slow
listening,
movie.
it is not about road construction.
No.
It is not.
No.
It's about.
I went into it thinking it was a documentary, very disappointed.
Interesting. And one of the bad guys from that, it's kind of hard to pick who those people
just
are. The
anyone except the main characters,
The main, yeah, exactly. Well, except for the people at the end of the movie that take the boy in.
ostensibly.
Right. Because they have a dog, and that made everything okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of.
They loved animals, so they let that person live.
Well, yeah.
Actually, you know what? That is a pretty good indicator in a world where everyone's cannibals. If you're going to keep a dog, I mean,
You're probably not going to eat a person.
Maybe. What if? Okay, so look at
What
it
if they're like super PETA people?
Look. Okay. Yeah.
That's
okay.
a good point.
animals only.
What? Yeah. Well,
We'll
They
kill all the
feed-
humans and kill
They
ourselves.
chop off their limbs to feed the animal.
yeah. They're like really crazy. It's like, oh, another little boy to feed my dog.
Okay, great. So the road could end even more fucked up than the entire movie was.
Sorry, I didn't mean
We're
to
all-
do that for you. But one of the bad guys that was in the first raid group that they find,
Yeah.
that's like chasing after him. And I can't remember what his name is. He is the Terminator in the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's in both those.
Interesting.
He is like the main Terminator in the TV series.
I wish I had more to say, but I've neither read the book nor seen The Road. But
I've never even seen A Road.
You wouldn't.
He lives in a cave, folks.
He crawls out from like an underground tunnel before the podcast.
We literally put a burlap sack over his head, drive him here so he doesn't have any concept of what a road is, and then we bring him straight inside, remove the burlap sack. You are just like a hunting falcon. We just leave that little thing over your head, and you're just constantly whipping your head back and forth like, I hear shit. I hear shit.
If you let me outside, I promise to bring you back a vole.
No.
So anyway, The Road, there's not explicitly stated at any point what ended the world. It's a movie about dealing with the fact that all of society has collapsed.
Yes.
And it's bleak, to be frank.
Very blunt.
Yeah. It's pretty bleak. It's just a guy and his son basically walking.
Because his wife was finally like, I can't do it anymore, fuck this, walks off into the darkness and just
she kills herself.
Yeah. That's
so,
the very beginning
so
of
they're
the
not
movie.
They're not walking to the promised land. They're not walking to hope. They're walking to where they think it might be safe, maybe, and they're not even sure.
That just made me think of like the season finale maybe of The Walking Dead where the woman's like, I'm going to stay in here and get blown up.
Oh,
and I
season
wanted
one.
to violently shake her and be like, no.
Yeah, that was kind of a dumb. I don't
get
know.
angry at anyone in those situations that just gives up, even though I should probably be kinder to them.
Natural selection, I guess. You know.
Yeah, fuck them.
At that point, there's not enough of us to be okay with natural selection.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I thought of Rick Rick Grimes. That made me angry.
The Road is really not something that you can appreciate in a broad strokes way. The Road is it's in how much it takes its time. It's in like the little scenes where the characters are never named. The dad like finds like a Coke can that hasn't been opened and he gives it to his son, and his son gets to try Coke for the first time in his life.
Probably awful.
He seemed to like it.
Yeah, they wouldn't care at that point because
he's like, Dad, I'm a Pepsi man.
He's used to like dirt soaked water, mud to drink. So I mean, Coca-Cola that's 11 years old isn't that bad.
You're saying they do a good job of making you appreciate that there's nothing left, so Coke's really important.
Yeah, actually, that is basically what I'm saying. Dan's a good listener.
He's like, and now I have nothing left to say.
Dan, what's your selection, sir?
I don't think you can beat Terminator 2. Again, like I said, it's not really post-apocalyptic, but it's dealing just completely with the apocalypse that's coming.
Liquid Metal.
That movie, what I can say is I tried a few weeks before I saw Fury Road to watch the first Mad Max again. I don't feel personally that it holds up very well.
No.
T2 you can watch and after we're dead and it will hold up, I believe.
So no one's going to mention Waterworld?
I had it on my list.
I was actually going to say my runner-up was Waterworld. And I was talking to my wife about this, and she's like, Waterworld's really good. And I was like, I know, no one likes it, but it's great.
Yeah.
And I want to pose this question. We don't have to answer. We would like to answer. Do you think The Matrix belongs in the discussion of that?
You know, I think it does.
Yes.
Because everything that you're dealing with is nothing more than a computer program as a backdrop.
Right.
So what's actually happening is
yeah,
the actual world itself is post-apocalyptic. Another machine-destroyed world.
Yeah.
12 Monkeys, another one of my personal favorites.
That's a great movie.
Do you know what I can't believe I didn't think of this? Because I think it's because of you're saying movies, but we don't really only cover movies. We cover everything.
Yeah.
So The Last of Us is probably one of my favorite games I've ever played.
Yeah. See, I haven't ever played that.
Oh, you would love it.
I bet I would.
Holy shit. That game is amazing. It's
He'd
like
probably be even more okay with Joel than I am.
What do you mean?
Roper?
Yeah,
like
okay,
the,
but
the
explain...
negative aspects of Joel that make him not quite an actual hero.
You're going to have to explain that.
Joel's a character in the game, I'm guessing.
No.
Explain it.
There's no one named Joel. I don't know. So, since this is the spoiler cast.
And I love having stuff spoiled for me.
So the game, you're taking a young girl to a facility because she is immune to the cordyceps fungus.
Yeah, it's basically zombies, like advanced, like blind zombies that use like echolocation to get around. It's super fucking creepy when you're sitting in like a dark room with like 2 bullets and you hear one of those things clicking in the dark and like stumbling like around the corner.
No,
like,
and they don't. You're not even safe in the dark.
No, they can see you if you move.
But
Nice.
like you get to the end and you find out that they're going to kill her in order to like extract parts of her brain to make a vaccine.
What's wrong with that?
Well, he fucking kills all of them.
Oh.
He's like, nah.
No, yeah, because they would kill her, and the thing is that at that point in the game, he started off hating her. By the end, she's basically a surrogate daughter to him now.
He lost his daughter in like the first days of the.
I can't watch that.
Isn't it immoral to save one person's life and let everyone else die? Then?
Yes.
I see it as that way. Yes.
Yeah,
I
she
disagree
should just
that it
be
is
killed.
immoral, and I disagree that he is not saving everyone's life.
You disagree that it's immoral?
Yes.
You're just wrong. That's not even a discussion.
I would
No.
I would agree with you, but there is no reason for us both to be wrong.
Again,
Yeah, I will.
There
do that
is
forever.
a lot of room for discussion.
When is it one person's life
Never.
over the many? That doesn't make any sense.
okay, so that's the call that Joel ends up making. He's like, no, I love this human being, and they're going to kill her without her consent. So they've taken her from me, and they're going to do this thing, and she's going to die. And so he's like, nah, fuck that shit.
Nope.
And he just kills his way to her and gets her out of there.
Super badass.
It's an ending that leaves you kind of with mixed feelings. Like,
I kind of like that he took it. He was like, you know what? This would help everyone in the world, but I love this girl, so fuck everyone, even myself.
Well,
Yeah.
But let's just say that it's super stupid, and he should have saved everyone by letting her die.
Okay, so here. I
That
guess
was-
this would be my hinge point. If there wasn't a guarantee that it would work,
Yeah. I'm assuming there was a guarantee, was there?
there's never a guarantee.
yeah, it's medicine. I mean, you can only...
And beyond
So
that,
sure.
society does still exist. There is safety. It's just
So not everyone is dying from this?
no.
Or turning
There's
into zombies?
safety from it.
Yeah.
There's a police state that's been in certain cities where the military has taken control, and they're holding
Granted-
out the problem.
Those are probably dystopias.
They're definitely dystopias. There are locations where there's safety. Humanity is still existing.
Yeah.
He is not damning us.
Yeah, he
by doing
didn't.
this.
He definitely didn't destroy humanity with his decision.
okay.
But
Me and Roper
So-
haven't played this, so we're just going off.
Yeah,
of
we're just shooting
the
from the
little
hip here.
facts. that
yeah,
we know.
it's a game that's really about the lengths at which everyone is going to go to survive, and you are driven to such violence regularly in gameplay with the way that you kill people. It's like you hit a point like halfway through that I feel like anyone playing that game is just like,
I'm not playing a hero.
well, there's that for sure, but also the people I'm killing want the same thing I want.
You know what? You know
neither of us are right.
You know what this really sounds like to me is the game I let you borrow one time. With
Oh, the line?
the line,
Spec
Ops,
Ops.
the line.
Okay.
With the cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
I love that damn.
Mike,
game.
is that the one
That
you
was a really
played
good
that
game.
I was there for the end of, and it was really fucked up?
Yeah, it's a
That
real-
was a good game.
That is a fantastic game. Wonderful storyline.
Anyone listening to this, like if you're holding your child, drop it, play this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Okay, so we never have got an answer out of you. We need an answer out of you, Jareth.
I don't know. I'm still struggling with it.
He whispered in my ear, Wally, but he's
Wally.
afraid to say it.
Yeah, well, Mike will beat him mercilessly. So,
Wally.
Wally.
I fell asleep halfway through Wally, but
Did
I'm
you?
sure it's pleasant to watch.
It's not. It's a bunch of redundant protoplasms floating around on a spaceship before they crash into the planet. And they think they're pizza plants. And
Don't
it's
listen to
stupid.
him.
But your kids are gonna love it.
super
But your
delightful.
kids are gonna love it. So
It's delightful.
It's garbage, but your kids will
we're
eat it
gonna
up.
have a Disney episode coming up here. We're calling it the Dark Disney or something like that. It's gonna be fantastic. That's thanks to Dire Monkey over here. Knuckle bump.
I don't know if you should thank me yet.
Oh yeah, well
boy.
we're thanking you. It's happening. Book.
Can you guys
fine?
do-
Can you do a book? Can you give me an end of the world book?
Well,
Okay, how about this?
Does it
doesn't
have to be a completed?
It doesn't have to be your favorite.
It's weird that you have no answer at all. It's as if you've never
Hold
seen
on.
any movie.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be your favorite.
Just
It-
give me something we can. This is a discussion point for us. Here.
All right, if I'm going to go with just any medium, I'm going to go with completed products only.
Okay. We appreciate.
There's a reason that I had to say that.
I can't wait to hear it.
Come on.
I'm actually going to go with the Mistborn trilogy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. I was actually that's why I was like, don't pick your favorite. Mistborn's a really good example. We've now brought that up like 2 or 3 times in this show.
Mistborn is the first one isn't really post-apocalyptic,
Okay.
but it gets there.
It
Yeah,
progresses.
I don't know. Isn't it though? Because essentially, so the premise of Mistborn is that in every fantasy
Is it
novel,
Mist as in M-I-S-T or M-I-S?
M-I-S-T.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
there's always the great hero that goes against the evil darkness, and he wins. He's the chosen one. That's the chosen evil one. They fight. The good guy wins.
Mike's doing
that
a lot with his
aside,
hands right
and
now.
I'm sorry I got to say this because I know you're still reading through it. It's the spoiler cast. No, it goes to an actual apocalypse. That happens. It gets bad.
Well, okay, but so just with that initial, that prophecy is present. There will be a chosen one. It's gonna kill the evil one, and that prophecy comes to bear, and the chosen one goes there, and seems like he lost because the great evil shows up, and like the mists swallow everything, and like an evil emperor rises up and takes over the world.
The reality? No, he actually totally won. What he did was really kind of justified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, like, crazy, but yeah.
So my favorite book for the end of the world has to be
The Stand.
How did you know I was going to say that?
Ooh, that is a good one.
I'm not a
is.
Stephen King fan.
I'm a
but
Stephen King fan
That
all the
book
way.
is awesome.
It is. It's excellent. That one is that has to be my favorite. Now you want to get real technical about it. The Dark Tower series is also a post-apocalyptic
Yep,
world.
Dark Tower. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get real technical about it, because that's supposed to take place after the fall of that civilization, and
Who writes Dark Tower?
that would also be Stephen King.
Okay.
And the Gunslinger series overlaps into all of his worlds. Actually, they spend a good amount of time in the world of the Stand before they end up loading down on a.
Stephen King knows how to title a book.
Yeah,
Always good titles.
yeah,
It's true, he does.
yeah.
The Green Mile. It's good.
It's good.
So I hesitate to bring up one particular end of the world movie that I'm rather familiar with.
Okay.
The Book of Eli.
Oh, okay. What about it?
I didn't care for it.
No, it was not very good in my opinion.
I didn't care for it.
I didn't regret watching it.
Aesthetically, really cool looking. Gary
I saw it
Oldman's
on a
always
plane.
a plus.
Yeah, Gary
I
Oldman.
saw it on the plane, actually.
Were you afraid when you landed that the world would be like that?
No,
See, here's
I
the
watched
thing.
it on my plane back from Canada.
So is that before or after your warrants?
In between two.
Okay. So the thing is that they came out with that movie, and then like instantly every church around here was like, we need to watch this movie. And
Oh,
so
God.
like everybody and their brother around here that was going to church was like, we're going to watch the Book of Eli.
Yeah.
And they're like, see, this is what happens without
the Bible.
without the Bible.
Honestly, you could draw that interpretation
Yeah.
from that movie.
How
That-
many
that's-
churches went and saw Noah and it was complete? It was like a
Yeah.
complete action movie, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but this,
Wait, actually, on that topic, my favorite
Damn it.
media that's post-apocalyptic is the Bible.
God, see, that's why I didn't want to cross this bridge. That's why I didn't want to cross this bridge. I
Well, that's
knew-
the end of the podcast.
And we're
He's
done.
won the podcast.
Mic drop. So
Don't drop our mics.
don't. Yeah, that's why they're.
I'd have to rip it off the robot arm.
So the thing is that, like I said, everybody and their brother. There were like 7 churches around here that I knew of that were like, we're showing the movie, The Book of Eli. It's wonderful, and I'm like, And of course, Gary Oldman in the movie is trying to get his hands on like the one book to control everybody.
The last
Yeah.
Bible.
It is the last Bible, and it just happens
Well, the
to
last
be
Bible that they know of.
Yeah.
The one book to rule them all.
Yes,
The one book to find them.
and in the
How does a movie go so wrong that has Gary Oldman, Denzel Washington, and that awesome setting?
Yeah.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was set up to be amazing. And
I think it boils down to the editing room and like decisions made on set. I think they start with a good premise and then they just shit on it.
Right.
whenever they're dealing with the psychological ramifications of religion in a post-apocalyptic world,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Right.
So the way he perceives the Bible as a method of control is super intriguing, and even Eli's interpretation of the Bible outside of the spirituality is interesting. Like, it is an important structure that we need.
And I'll grant you all that. And like I said, I didn't have a bunch of problem with all of that. It's just that in the real world, following the movie is kind of a giant pain in the dick that everybody and their brother out there was just like, see, I knew it. This is what would happen if the world really ended and we didn't have this to fall back on.
So honestly, what you should take away from that is throw the Bible into the post-apocalyptic world, and a lot of people die for really not a lot of good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, that's what what ends up happening is, I think the most interesting post-apocalyptic movies. So Terminator's great. Terminator might be the exception to this rule, but the ones that don't focus on the thing that caused it. So, like, no one here has mentioned a zombie movie yet.
28 days later.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I was going to say I Am Legend.
I was about to say I Am Legend, but that doesn't
Or
qualify as
Omega
zombies.
Man.
But
are these Omega Man would have also qualified.
I like
Are
to
these
leave
your
Will Smith
favorites?
out of this.
No, they're on the list though. That's what
that's
we're
what
saying.
I'm
I
saying.
Am
is that
Legend is vampires, not zombies.
They're not vampires.
They
Well,
are vampires.
They're not vampires.
They're-
Omega Man is vampires.
Yes.
I Am Legend is zombies.
Yes,
I'm
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
sure they're vampires.
they're not vampires.
No.
No,
I thought they were zombies.
they're zombies.
I thought, like,
Get your phone out. Bust your phone out. Take a look.
You are correct that the original movie that was based on, the Omega Man, they were vampires.
But they changed it up.
Yeah, to match with the new hotness.
I thought at the end, like, the chick is getting, like, blood of some kind. Like, don't they have to drink blood?
On what? Omega Man?
No, in I Am Legend.
No. No. What he was doing there was trying to do a cure, but that was like a virus that got out. They're not vampires.
Huh.
How did everyone feel about I Am Legend?
You know, I was okay with parts of it. It obviously skewed away from the original story, but as with all movie productions, they do. I mean, with really anything, they
I
don't
felt
go
like
that much.
overall I was
I
let
would
down
say,
by it.
sorry,
Go ahead.
just real quick. It doesn't specifically say that they're vampires or zombies. They say mutants, but they are super sensitive to sunlight. They're quick.
Yeah.
They show very few of the symptoms that normal zombies have,
Okay.
besides a want to kill people.
Okay.
So they're far closer.
Are
to
they
vampires.
eating people or just killing them?
Lord, they never really show them.
I haven't seen it in
It's
a
just,
long time.
it's just people
think they-
getting. It's just an infection that's rolling around. It's
Yeah.
And if I
Didn't they classify it as like a super rabies?
it's a form of rabies is the way they qualified it.
Frankly,
Okay.
they seem like a hybrid, but more vampire than zombie.
So
if he's correct.
Everyone's wrong? Yeah.
if
We'll
I-
go with
we'll
that.
go with
Everyone's
mutants.
wrong. Everyone's wrong. They're all mutants.
yeah, it says mutants. Let's just go with mutants.
They're all
Cool.
rabid.
So that's good. What I was saying was that I think that what's most interesting, what the genre of post-apocalyptic does, is it's going to explore humanity and what it means to be human in circumstances where your survival is at stake.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of interesting questions posed, and I think the most interesting fiction in the post-apocalyptic genre is asking really hard questions. Probably why The Last of Us is one of my favorites, and The Road is one of my favorites.
How easy is it to be human when there's something in the way of being
When it's
human?
when it's you or them.
Yeah.
Like, are you really going to die so that you don't have to kill someone else?
It really the ultimate test of your character is living in post-apocalyptic times.
Basically, yeah.
Fine, all you bastards. What about Planet of the Apes? Where's that qualify?
Oh, that's post-apocalyptic. That's dystopian.
Post-apocalyptic, right? But does that still fall within the little spiel you just gave there?
I don't think it's post-apocalyptic.
It is post-apocalyptic.
The
Not-
end,
not-
Then technically we're living in a post-apocalyptic society right now.
the end of the human
Good point.
world.
Of a-
The
Good
human world has ended.
yes,
Yeah.
So the idea of the world as our
As we know
concept
it.
of-
It's almost post
if you want to get real specific about it, you look at all the ones where the astronaut goes out and turns around, comes back, and then he realizes, oh shit, this is the Earth, right? Just like in the old movie where he's like, you bastards, yeah. So
I agree. It's after our time is over, after our rule of society is over, but they never really said there was an apocalypse.
Listen here, monkey man. It is an apocalypse.
I'm voting for the monkeys, goddammit.
Of course you are, dire monkey. So the thing is that it's the rise of the apes. Okay, it's okay. It would be no different. Rise of the machines. They take over everything and destroy us all. It's the machines' time now, right?
They just
It's the monkeys coming in and annihilating all of us.
You should like this. You should be on board for this.
You're on board with this, right? You're okay with the monkeys getting loose.
Well, the difference.
I just wanted to
here
have a
is
better spin because I'm a PR guy and I don't want to call it the apocalypse of the monkeys.
There is a difference here in that the robots are not coming in and killing us and supplanting our culture with a new society.
Right.
Well, they might be.
No,
We haven't
they're
explored
robots.
that. In 9, that's what they were doing.
Those robots had a human soul.
Not that doesn't specify that. It doesn't say that. It says it's something like a soul.
But isn't the real difference in Planet of the Apes, like, they rose up, all the humans are gone. I'm talking about the original. And then humans, like a small group of humans, pop back up. Like that's no
There were
longer
humans.
They
They
were,
hunted them
yeah, they
for
were
slave
humans.
labor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
they've always been slave labor.
It was basically the monkeys rose up and then turned the humans into slaves.
Right.
Over
Okay.
centuries.
That's why they started off making all these movies that they're doing now.
Okay.
Which is Rise
I always got
of
the
Planet of the
impression
Apes, thing of that nature.
I
It's-
haven't seen this since I was pretty young, but
Right.
I got the impression that they like landed in some weird time machine or something.
Nope.
I can't remember. Right?
Kinda, actually, in some of the later movies.
but
The Mark Wahlberg one.
yeah.
No, I mean
that was bad.
the later,
No.
the later,
Matt
in the-
Damon.
Escape from it or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
because one of them goes back in time or something.
Yeah.
It's been ages since I've seen it, but
Anybody seen the movie Priest from 2011?
It was terrible.
yes,
It was garbage.
Those are vampires.
Those are vampires.
Anybody see Twilight? Those are vampires.
Those are not
vampires.
those are immortal homosexuals.
I think I've seen that movie, The Immortal
Don't
Homo.
speak ill of homosexuals like that. Comparing them to vampires.
I'm going to
of
toss some
that ilk.
glitter on you at the end of this.
And I'm going to throw cookie batter.
You're gonna get glitter bomb, Jared.
What
I'm
about
good
The
with
Postman?
The Postman is.
I haven't seen that, but I hear it's good.
It's been years since I've seen that movie, but it was. I'm actually looking at it right here.
It kind of encompasses the struggle and
Yeah.
and the rebuilding of society, not just
yeah,
fighting with different societies.
Yeah.
and I can't really comment much on it because it's been so long since I've seen it. But I mean, it's.
I take it as not
Kevin
about
Costner.
delivering the mail, though.
No,
Well,
not that kind of Postman.
It starts out like that.
Yeah,
It has that aspect of it.
Yeah, and then
What
it's-
about The Walking Dead? Not The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead.
You mean with Christopher Walken?
Walken.
Yeah, it's only Christopher Walken playing every role. It gets very confusing really fast.
Christopher Walken is Rick Grimes.
The Christopher Walken's is zombies 1 through 100.
Wow.
We've got to
So-
save everyone. We've got to kill everyone.
I can't believe I haven't. Like, we haven't brought this up. By the time that this is released, most of E3 will have happened, and
Yeah.
we will have seen live footage of Fallout 4.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Never heard of
Yep.
it.
So, which is like, honestly, I feel like Fallout 3 came out, and the Book of Eli felt so similar in tone and feel to Fallout 3.
I could see that.
Like, I was like, this one followed the other. Like, it had to be.
There's some elements to the new Fallout that I think were bitten off of the BioShock series. BioShock
See,
Infinite.
I really, really like the BioShock series.
It's BioShock Infinite is my favorite game by a
Yeah.
mile.
Yeah.
The three games that were my titles for Xbox is Gears of War.
That's a post-apocalyptic, but not on Earth.
Yeah,
Decent
doesn't
game.
matter.
Decent game.
very decent game. But then it just kind of fizzled out on the tail end. After they came out with Judgment, it just kind of was like,
Yeah.
and it just kind of turned into dust on the.
they're doing
3 was
remastered,
really
so-
good, though.
3 was really good.
Yeah, I thought they got better up until 3.
Yeah, and then I've yet to play Judgment. I mean, I never went out and got it. I
Yeah.
really want to because I've played all the other ones.
And what were your other two?
Assassin's Creed.
The original, or-
I really enjoy it. Well, all of them.
I don't think any of them can compete with the first one, but I haven't
Technically
played the
post-apocalyptic
97
as
other
well.
ones.
Technically speaking, yes, it also is a post-apocalyptic. And if you want to move it on forward, we're living in that post-apocalyptic.
In today's world, we found out everything is post-apocalyptic.
Dinosaurs all died post-apocalypse.
Bam! See what he's doing there? Okay, so, and then, of course, my last one being BioShock.
It's a bleak world out there. Everyone.
Any certain BioShock, or are you just balling them all up into one?
I'm balling them all up into one, but if I had to pick a one that rises above, would be thanks to this particular guy right here, and that would be...
That's me.
Yeah, that would be Mike, because the internets can't see me. Hi, internets. You can't see me.
Are we talking about BioShock Infinite, then?
We have a person walking by. You want to say hi? Say hi. Hey. There you go. I have no idea who that was. You, Mike?
I know.
Okay, just making sure there's been random people walking through the building. Infinite, yes. That's where I was going with that. We are at our roughly 5-minute marker where we've actually crossed past that. 4-minute marker now.
There's not enough time.
No, there are so many end of the world.
Have you guys done just what's your favorite sci-fi movie or book show?
No,
because you totally should.
We should, but
Showgirls.
Yeah, show tunes. Yes. No. Yes, I've totally made Jareth almost fall off his stool.
No, it was the Showgirls one. Just no.
That's like post Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
So okay, we're 2 weeks from now. We're gonna be back over here again.
Yep.
And we're going to have some people on from another show called Flick Freaks.
Yep.
And they're going to be on here talking with us about Welcome to the Park, that where everyone wants to eat, or everything wants to eat you.
Yeah.
And it's been brought up by you, Mr. Dan. Kind of part of this that discussion is going to be a comment you left for us, and that was in regards to what creature we want to square off against, our choices for that. So we'll start with the discussion about Jurassic Park.
I'm not going to be there, so I just want to say I would love to punch a kangaroo straight in the face.
Fuck yes.
Here's the problem with that.
I'm down
they
with
would
that.
kick you in the dick. That's what happens.
You know what? They walk around with their super strong legs, and they think that they're somebody. And I just want to punch one in the fucking jaw.
I think
Get off their bouncy pedestal.
you can get one sucker punch in. I'm with him on this. I want to punch a fucking
I don't
kangaroo.
care if I get put in this ICU. I want one good jaw-shattering punch on a kangaroo.
I want to kill a panda bear.
All right,
with my bare
nurse.
hands.
All right.
You are evil, sir.
All right, nurse. Why's the
Let's
guy?
not end this on a psychotic note.
All right, nurse. Why do we have a patient in number 5 over there? Well, doctor, he punched a kangaroo in the mouth, and we're trying to extract his testicles from his throat.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
Totally worth it. Everyone want to say hi? We've got 3 people sneaking in on us right now. Say hi.
Hey, how's it going?
We have a artist, a moderator, and a lady friend.
And a
of an
lady
artist.
friend. Hi, lady friend. You're the only person I'm saying hi to right now.
She could be a doctor. We don't know that.
She could
She
be.
could
a
be.
doctor.
She is a doctor,
That
actually.
somehow sounds really
Wow,
sexist.
look at that. See what
lady
you did there?
friend.
Okay, so that's fantastic. So
She's a rocket surgeon.
rocket surgeon.
I'll
Okay.
have you know she is the president of the United States.
Son of a... Okay, so the thing is that these individuals are with Spellbook, and they we've introduced you all. You can sneak through now. It's totally fine. We're at 3-minute marker here, probably.
Yeah.
3 minute. Wow, I guesstimated that one pretty well. Last things, Mike. You have anything you want to add here at the very tail end of this before we move on for the day?
Not at the moment. Don't get your hopes up about the Dungeon Cast. I hope it works, but it might not.
It'll work fantastically. Dan, thanks for being on with us. You got anything else?
I would just like to say I'm really excited for the next 2 Mad Max movies, which Tom Hardy has already signed up for.
Excellent.
They're going to probably just get better.
I hope so as well. Jareth.
Next time, be prepared for questions, Jared. What's your
I
favorite?
do this to
What's
you.
your favorite movie? What are movies? Come back to me in 35 minutes.
He does this every time. And
I
don't
do
know.
this to him every
He likes
show.
to put me on the spot.
Curveball.
I can't handle it.
He's on a show where you're asked questions. He's like, "Why do you put me on the spot with these questions?"
Son of a... See, how many episodes have you been on with me for?
I'm here for comedic relief. Not to
There's
answer
the Charlie
questions.
Chaplin of podcasts.
This is a talkie.
What?
Just play really upbeat organ music and he'll stumble around.
Sorry, Internet, you can't see him, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
You can't see Jared, but he has a Hitler/Charlie Chaplin mustache right now.
Mike
You'll just have to
shaved
take
his
our
off.
word for it.
Yeah, Mike shaved his off, so it's he looks like a 6-year-old
I have
child.
a luxurious beard. Just
He
for
does.
people out there
I
in
don't-
podcasts.
What is the deal with that? Every person we've had on as a guest host so far has had a really awesome beard. Has anyone noticed that?
Josie.
Except for here.
She might have an awesome
Here.
beard. I don't know.
Here.
Yeah.
Here, we have not had Josie here.
People are just getting manlier, I guess.
Yeah. Except for Hall. Hall's the only person we've ever had over here that's been clean shaven.
Yeah.
And that's because he and I are obligated to be so.
I'm 30 years old and figured I should try one time in my life to grow a beard, so I'm committed to growing for 1 year, which is 3 months away.
Rock on. Rock on. All right, so last things for me, as normal, go over, check out Spellbook on all our Facebook page, check out their webpage, all that good stuff. Make sure you get over to Amazon, check out the Blood Rose saga, the Blood Saga by Jackie. Jackie will have her stuff up there. Leave a comment. You read her stuff, you leave her a comment. That's a mandatory thing.
You got it.
You read an author's book, you better leave them a damn comment. Lastly, for us, make sure you are getting
Your
over
tiptoeing is louder than your actual walking.
That is
nuts.
true. So,
Artist.
what are you going to do?
Oh, and also, thanks for having me on. I should
Absolutely. I'm glad you got a chance to make it over again. We'll have to get you back on for another topic as well.
Awesome.
I'll leave that up to Mike to arrange, and you might even get on with Dungeon Cast here.
Whoa.
Last thing with me, you want to make sure you get over to our stuff, All Tower Media, either on Facebook or you can go over to our website and check out all our stuff. You can purchase All Tower T-shirts and mugs and all sorts of good things. You can even buy your shirt that says "Show us your crits." Yeah, we got that put together. You can go online and actually
How haven't we talked about that?
We're talking about it right now.
Does it say
It
show
says
us
show us your crits
and
and has
hyphen Jareth Mooneyham?
No, it does not. It says,
Work on that.
That sounds a little suggestive,
It
guys.
says we don't want you to show us your crits.
Another good one is crit on my face. I spent several weeks at one point in late 2009.
He can do this.
He has one good line, but he can't answer what his favorite is.
He can do this. He can't give me a damn show. Okay, so make
The
sure you
one-line kid.
Yeah, exactly. Shit-ding. Ba-da-ding. Where's his? Oh, you already turned it off. That's fine. Get over there, check out the stuff, purchase a shirt if you can. Any and all that stuff goes to developing all of this stuff further. Be on the lookout for more of our works coming up. Be on the lookout for Dire getting ready to launch here pretty quick.
End of the month should be a playable game.
Absolutely. Here pretty quick, we're going to have Jackie on. We're also going to get author D.A. Roberts back on here with us again. That's going to happen. We're going to have Flick Freaks on here in 2 weeks, like I mentioned. Guys, this has been another episode of Spellcast.
Spellcast?
No,
Was
you
it?
do Spellcast.
I was going to say, that's my
I
show.
started to say from Spellbook Studios.
Have you been cheating on us with another podcast?
I'll flip it on Spellcast and I'll pump you guys
That'll be fantastic.
unintentionally.
Be like, and this has been another episode of Spoiler. Son of a. So this has been another episode of Spoilercast by All Tower Media from the Spellbook
Spellcast.
Studios.
Yes, sir.
You mean Spoiler Book Studios?
Yeah.
Spoilerbook Studios. I like that.
Studio cast.
Studio. We're just going to hodgepodge this whole thing together.
This has
All
been
right.
another podcast.
Spoiler Book.
Thanks for being out here with us, and you guys have a safe night.
Day a good
Take it easy.
have.
I love turds.